Cool.
Yes.
About to have our table talk of the day. Our question of the day today: who's gonna be first?
You can ask me.
First? You
can ask me.
So I'll go first. The question is: what is the biggest thing that you feel like you've gained from us being together out of our relationship?
The biggest thing that I've gained?
Yeah, I know it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff, right? But yeah, if you could try to think of just one thing, or the biggest thing, you know.
Okay. I think the biggest thing that I gained would have to be it's about our history. I feel like, you know, I was always raised like I thought that we came from slaves. I didn't know that we had a prior, you know, life or standing before then. And now people get more conscious, and of course we get more knowledgeable. We have a lot of books and research that we have available to us. So I think that opened my eyes to know that I come from a lineage of just greatness and righteousness, and to not feel separate, you know, from Jesus and the disciples. Like, those are amongst our people. Like, that's my cousin, that's me, you know, going through that experience. And so I feel like gaining that prior knowledge was amazing. Like, that really added value to my life that's goes through more layers, basically, than just the physical and the tangible. Like, just knowing who I am, where I come from, my assignment, my purpose, like all those things derive from just knowing simple history. It's simple, but it's not simple because they, you know, hide so much stuff from us on purpose sometimes, or they just misconstrue the information, you know. So I think that was the biggest thing that helped me, you know, in our relationship. And I think it helped me be a better business partner too, because my confidence, my tact, I feel like I tap into those, you know, history, that person, you know, I feel like I tap into that person. I go back sometimes and channel in the knowledge that I feel like that person would have to gain confidence or to gain some type of dominance in a conversation or a transaction. You know, I feel like it really helped me to be strong, you know, especially because I'm a woman. It's like, you know, I guess I grew up thinking like, oh, you're a minority because you're a woman and you're a black girl, like that's all you are. And I'm like, oh, y'all make it sound too nice. So you saying that I'm not worth nothing, and I give life to all these things that surround me, and I have to create. I just felt like just knowing it was just amazing to me, and made me feel like I was something, you know. I feel like before you, I didn't have that knowledge at all. So I mean, I had glimpses, but never not in the whole, like how we talk about.
Just our history and
yeah, I was
who we were prior to slavery, and then on thousands and millions, you know, maybe even potentially billions of years ago, we've been, you know, doing a lot of work as a people, and I feel like a lot of it is being shunned out sometimes when it comes down to the media, when it comes down to certain history that was rewritten. But it's starting to be a new age now, and we're starting to come back to being ourselves, and that's really important.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. I feel like, you know, it's just the moment when you feel like you're not being controlled anymore. Like, it was just like, I realized I was being controlled, and it's like, oh, okay. I don't know, I guess because I felt like a lot of things didn't make sense anyway, you know, growing up. And just like, you know, I never understood like simple things like Jesus is, like, had a picture that Jesus is white. And to me, I always felt like Jesus was black. Not only because my mom told me, but also because of how he was explained in the stories. I felt like I could visualize him looking like me. Like, I felt like he was a representation of me. But then when I went to these churches or, you know, places, and they have a picture of this white Jesus and praying to this person, it's like, oh, you know, then it's not like you forget that he's black, but you accept that, oh, he could be white too. Like, no. Like, it's no accepting. It's just like knowing that, you know, just like how there's a truth to everything, there's a false to everything. And, you know, just being aware of that. Because I think at first I was taking everything as face value. Like, everything I saw was just what it was. And not really knowing that it's a bigger purpose and a bigger, you know, message for it. So, yeah, I think that was the biggest thing ever. I think one of the biggest things was, just letting me know that God was within myself. I think that was like, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I think because I'm a preacher's kid, you know, I grew up in church my whole life since I can remember. And I never took into account that God was within myself. And I felt such conviction, I guess that's a word that I can use, conviction, when you told me that. And it was because, like, wow, I really neglected this inner God all this time. All this time I'm praying to an outside source, and it's not even an outside source. It's within myself. And then I'm not acknowledging that God in everybody else too, because everybody else make a complete picture of who God is. And so who am I to not, you know, they didn't always say acknowledge or honor God. And I feel like I didn't do that because I didn't even honor or even acknowledge that God was in somebody or around people that I was, you know, around. So it gave me perspective on just knowing that God's within me. And instead of praying outward, like, oh, to the clouds, like, God, please, please. It's like, let me just go within. And it's just something about going within too that you feel a complete difference. Like when I prayed, like up to the sky, I really felt like my words was going to the sky, coming right back down to me. It wasn't going nowhere. I felt like it had no value or no weight to them. But then when I started saying those prayers, still out loud, but just closing my eyes and going within myself, and just realizing like, oh, okay, I'm not just closing my eyes just as a courtesy. It's like I'm closing my eyes to be able to see, to be aware. Like, you know, it's beyond just your physical eyes. I felt like when I closed my eyes, I was able to tap into knowing that, oh, there really is a God within, and just realizing throughout my life, like always having a good person and an evil person over here. And I'm like, oh, that's not on the outside, that's on the inside. So I have God in me, and I also have this negative person inside of me as well, my lower self, that I have to try to diminish every day to make my God come through full time or full-fledged. And so, you know, that was just a powerful lesson for me as well. Like, that was just amazing for me to know. And it's simple. People think about it, but you don't really take the words for value. Like, the fact that God is really inside of you. Like, you are God. You and God are one. And that's crazy. You know, especially if you have this image of God in your head, you know, how great this person is, or how, you know, when you have this perspective and you realize, like, oh, person inside of me all the time, that perfect person, makes me feel like I can tap into that perfect person when I need to be, or full time, or know that I'm capable of being that perfect person. It's just I have other things that I'm not doing right that's clouding that perfect person to come through. So yeah, it really just showed me to be consistent in knowing who I am, be consistent in learning, sharing, gaining knowledge, and supporting to know where I came from, where we came from as a whole, everybody's position as a whole, and what we're trying to do as a whole too. So I feel like that really helped me.
That was deep.
But it was the truth. That's one thing to think about. All right, so I'll ask you, what is the biggest thing that you gained in our relationship?
Oh man, from you, babe, I feel like I gained the world. But specifically, I would say that from you, I feel like I gained the definition of purity and love. Like when I look at you, that's what I feel like you embody to me. And you know, I don't know if I had that throughout, you know, my time of being here. But I feel like when I met you, you was like the purest thing that I've known, and your love, the way that you love, openly and bright. And you know, when it comes down to just, you know, the vibration of your love, I don't think I ever felt that before. And so, you know, really when I think of you in my head, I do think of you as just straight purity and love. And that pushes me to be a better person every day because, you know, I want to become love. You know, I feel like that's the most powerful instrument in the universe when it comes down to using and maneuvering things. If you use love and you find a way to use it in the right way, it can overpower anything, any tool. But I still feel like I have that other side of me, how you just said, the higher and the lower self, that want to use other ways to be able to get my way done. But ultimately, I feel like, you know, when it comes down to it, if I can get to know love more and get to show that more, then I can be a better person. And when I look at you, you are that, you know, example for me. So I get to be able to be a better person, showing from your examples and just your liveliness, your character, your personality. It always shines. Like, you're always shining. You know, your skin is shining on the outside, but on the inside, I feel like it's a reflection of that, because you have so much on the inside that you shine. And I just love the way you love me. So, you know, that pushes me to be a better person. And then also, I feel like, you know, it's hot.
Yes, the
sun is beaming right on our
It is like 100 degrees.
But yeah, so I feel like just, you know, also like our partnership. I don't know if I ever had somebody that can meet me, you know, like can meet me where I'm at and then go at it full force together. I don't think I ever had that link where I felt, most of the time I felt like I was either always the person pushing it, regardless of whether it was personal relationships or business relationships. Most of the time I felt like I was always the one pushing it, the leader. Nobody else can see what I see. Nobody else can do the work that I'm doing. I'm by myself. That's what I'm called to do. Dang, I'm gonna go out there and do it, even if it's by myself. But you was like the first person I met that I could actually be a team member with me and can always meet me there, regardless of whether it's ideas that I'm coming with, doing the action, you know, just you know, seeing a vision. I don't think I ever had that connection with somebody where it was actually a teamwork, you know, involved with it. And so that pushes me to be a better person too, because I can always be my best self. And you push me to be my best self, and you have standards too. Like when it comes down to like even the little small things. If we like traveling somewhere, like when we went to Miami, and the hotel wasn't, you know, it wasn't the best hotel at the time, and you made sure that we didn't settle for just, you know, anything, and it made me push harder to be able to get us the best room in the hotel. And ultimately, I was happy at the end because we had a better view, we had the best room, and if I would have settled before with lower standards, you know, which I probably would have did myself, but because you was there, you pushed me to be better, and I appreciate you in all of those things. Even if I'm mad, even if I know I got to step up and do it and be better, I appreciate it at the end.
But yeah, babe, I appreciate you too. I feel like that's what I appreciate most about you too. It's just the truth that you brought to my life, you know, in more ways than one, more than just the knowledge and history of who we are. But that was just a really, 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 really huge part. I felt like that I was missing. That, like, you know how people be like they were rebellious before, and then they turn out to be the perfect person once they realize like it was just one.
Self-awareness.
Yeah, and it really was that self-awareness. I think that's the reason why I became a life coach. I think that moment inspired me to be a life coach because I realized how important self-awareness really was. Like, me not having self-awareness was just a robot. Like, you know, it's just you have no thoughts, you have no feelings. Everything that you have, all the thoughts and feelings that you think you have are not yours. They're other people's or other, you know, people's expectations of you. And so I feel like, you know, I really had to be self-aware, and that's a difference on the difference it made in my life from not being aware to being aware. Even though it could be better, I feel like it was a huge, huge, huge impact. So yeah, I really appreciate the truth that you brought to me in my life, and I can't wait to eventually have children and pass it on to them, because, you know, the truth is hard to find, hard to come by, and it's very important to your well-being, to your life, to your friends and family, way past your lineage. Like, you know, these are years and years and years and generations of knowing, because we know and because we plan to tell them. So I really appreciate that.
I appreciate you. So yeah, guys, that's our table talk for the day.
Yes.
As usual, if you are a part of the SHPC squad, we appreciate you for tuning in.
We love you.
We appreciate you for just even, you know, thinking about continuing your journey with your partner and to make it stronger and to be able to do your work that you need to do out there with each other. We really do appreciate you.
Yes, keep it going, keep it going. Make sure that you subscribe. If you're not a part of our squad, it's okay. You can be a part of our squad. We accept anybody, no matter what you look like, no matter what you sound like, we got you. Make sure you like our video. It would help us out tremendously if you like our video and share it to all of your friends. You never know who marriage or relationship you're saving from passing on this video. And we hope you guys take that quiz below. Our quiz is phenomenal. It will help you to figure out which principle you may be lacking in. And also it has some really good questions that you may have to ask yourself and really figure out the answer. So take that time to figure it out. And we hope you guys learn something from the quiz as well.
Definitely. Make sure you turn those notifications on. That's extremely important because we want you to be able to get the information like this. As soon as we put it out, it get right to you. You can get right to action. All right? The first person to take action is usually the person that's successful and triumphant. So we want that to be you. And we always, of course, welcome you to the squad.
Yes.
And we'll see you guys on the next one.
Make sure you comment below anything you like, either questions or your responses to the questions. We'd like to hear it.
Alright, so it's hot. It's
Alright,
like
we gotta end this
90,
video. It's
and
hot
we're about to like jump in the pool now, y'all. So it's about to go down.